Okay, so we are gonna do some. I'm gonna date my days in commercial printing, and we're gonna do what we would call blind embossing, which means it was embossing with no foil or ink, just made it raised. I've actually cut everything for you. In your little packet, you have all these little pieces already to make your pattern. And you have a smaller piece, which is to do your leaves. So I'm gonna put that aside. We're gonna do our pattern first. And you're just going to take all of your little pieces. Now, remember I was saying earlier, I was gonna make you do that. It was in this one. You have enough paper. You don't have to do it if you don't want to attempt it. Okay. Additionally, there is your tag for your saying. And then the papers that are on here are a tad bit different than what you saw. Remember I said I played Tetris? I seriously played Tetris here to get this to work. Okay, I'm just gonna put this. You can put it together however you want. Get it as centered as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's not necessary to be perfect. Okay, and then this one's gonna go right in there. Okay, and we're gonna glue all those together. So see, look, it was nice. I think I gave you that, but there's room on the other one. Okay, so let's just start gluing these down. Sometimes it's easier to start with your outer corners, because then you can like arrange and spread everything. The nice thing about the green tip glue is that once it sticks, but you have a little leeway to like smush and move things around. So I'm just gonna eyeball. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna look like a little quilt. Okay. So I think, well, that looks pretty straight. Again, see this piece did not get straight up there in the corner. My bad, but it's fine. It's okay. I'm going to put my little corners down here. See, this went way crooked. So we're gonna pick it up and move it a little bit before it goes dry. Okay. The technique that we're doing on here is going to help it kind of get into its spot. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. And if you find that you have one that's a little tad too long, you can trim it. I'm gonna trim this one down just a tad. And I'm not gonna trim the square because I don't want and where this doesn't meet, it doesn't matter because it's gonna get covered up anyways. I don't want to cut the squares because I want them to still like remain square. So where you can see that this doesn't match, don't worry about it. Okay. Because we're going to cover it up with a tag. So therefore, no need for it to be perfect. It's going to be covered up with leaves and tags. No big deal. I've already put that piece in, and we're going to drop that piece in there. Okay. Now here's the magic part that you're gonna have to trust me off of camera. You needed an embossing folder for this. The one that came with this suite is the distressed tile. So when you look at it, it's like some places aren't even and all of that. You're just gonna take this and layer it in here. If you have the most recent Stampin' Cut, it's going to be very similar to these small, but I'm going to go do this on my big machine. It has, let me find them all, recipes on them. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So when you're doing the 3D, you're gonna have your folder, and then you're going to have the one that says use with the 3D. So in the small one, it's this dark one. It might be different. So it's 1 embossing folder 4, okay? But since I'm doing this on my old machine, I'm gonna pause and go do that. So again, like the power of TV, you can see that. Look at how it has the dimension. Also look how it really pressed the paper into the background. You can see on the back side where I was saying like it doesn't go everywhere. It's kind of like the pattern is hit and miss. Super, super pretty. Okay, so I was not conserving ribbon on this card, so I gave you enough ribbon to more than enough go around and tie a bow, okay? Which is usually what I'll do if I'm not conserving ribbon. Give you a lot, but again, another ribbon. Like everything in this suite, it's so pretty. It was so popular. It went super fast. It'll all be back though. So if you want to refill some of your supplies, just send me a note because it is coming back. It will be back late October. All right. Clean this up. Cut my edges. Ta-da, ta-da. Trying to do a better job of cleaning up. Put stuff in the trash as I go. My goodness. Okay. So let's do our other pieces. We are going to stamp our I'm Thankful again. Now here's a trick. You could stamp this with your embossing powder if you didn't, or you're embossing your Versamark, and it would give that dark. Sometimes it fades over time, so I opted to do this back over here with the peacock. So we're doing the tone on tone with the I'm Thankful in peacock. And then the other saying I'm doing is in the Moody, which I had to have you as a friend. I really am thankful for all my Stampin' Pals. Made so many great friends over the years, from customers that became friends, friends that became customers, and some of my best friends that I have and I'm very close with to this day. So, all right. I need to grab myself another sticky note since I killed my last one. So we're just gonna strip that, center that where I want it. Oops. Again, you know it's okay if it's not perfect, right? It'll look handmade. Somebody's gonna love it, and I need to make sure that I'm only sticking it to the paper, not to that. It's probably better that I don't do it that way. Get my Stampin' Emboss machine out and be prepared is what I should have done first. But I have it all wonky because I was busy showing you how the trays work. You know, if these start getting like, see how they're warped, you just flip them over. They'll work their way back out. The trick is only cut on one of them and always leave your other one, then it won't get wonky. But I wasn't very smart about that with this set. Okay, so I've got that on there. I get through. I love my little tiny one. It's so nice. I keep it in my cart next to me because I don't have to get up and jump to from my stamping chair to my embossing station or my die cutting station that I have. Save these for later. We might need them again. Put all our pieces together, back down in there. All right. So let's start building. Oh wait, before we do that, we need to stamp our leaves. All right. This is a fun technique. So I'm starting off with like the watercolor of the leaf. I'm gonna get this on here better. And I need to stamp 2 of them. So I'm gonna stamp 1 at full strength. And then I'm gonna stamp another one on the other side without re-inking it. That's how I got the 2 different colors. Now this looks crazy right now. That ink is gonna dry and settle and look more like this, okay? Now we do wanna stamp our spines. And in this case, I'm gonna full strength on both the spines, okay? I'm going to stamp full strength, okay, full strength. All right, and then I'm going to die cut these. So I'll be back. Okay, I don't think you need to watch me do that. You can see those are starting to settle. So we're gonna assemble our card now. Simple, folded. I scored everything for you. So we're just gonna emboss that onto there. Or not emboss it, we're gonna press it onto there. Oh, I did that too. I really was on a cleanup spree. Okay. This shows a versatility of the colors in this pack of paper too. So everything was super fall colors, but it also had these really pretty like mauve tones. I can't seem to get this centered. And one of the sides, so I said we were going to show some of the sides with the foiling. You can see like all the foiling on this, how pretty it is. All right, let's start assembling. So first off, I had my dark in the back, which is fine. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive right there just to put those together like that. And then I'm going to throw some dimensionals on my set now. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, put those up there. We're gonna flop that right there, maybe like that. Because remember, we were working on covering up this little area here. And before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little glue . Little goes a long way. That was probably too much glue for that. Oops. And I am going to put it off to the side like this. I probably could have stamped it. I guess I stamped it about right. Just kind of off the edge a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and figure out where we want to place it. Now, when you have ribbon in the picture, it is easier to avoid putting the dimensionals on the ribbon because it gets a little wonky. So you'll notice I'm not putting one in the middle on this one, and that is intentional. I put it in the 4 corners because I want to avoid this ribbon, this sitting on the ribbon. Okay, and there we go. Again, remember you have that extra paper, so decorate your envelopes. You could also stamp some leaves on your envelopes if you wanted. Like, I might take this leaf. I think we're just gonna go a little rogue right now. If you've been to my classes for a long time, you'll know that I don't typically. I don't typically design your envelopes for you. Let's see. I don't design your envelopes for you. I want you to have a little creativity. Okay. And the reason that I wanted a light, so I stamped off first, but because I'm only doing this little corner, if I stamped again, you'd see it have that line. So if I wanted another light, I would do that and stamp off like that. And so I do want another, I think I want a dark one there. Let's go. Let's put that dark there, okay? And then we're gonna do a light, so I'm gonna stamp off and put it right there. So we didn't use the DSP. We used our ink pads, and we made a beautiful envelope to go with it. Okay? Share with what you do on your envelopes. They don't have to be like mine. Matter of fact, I encourage you to be creative and do them without copying me. So that is that for that card.